I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your dumpster fire for the weeks of December 19th to January 8th.
And the unicorns dance while the world burns, world burns. World burns.
And we're off. And we're back from being off. I hope everybody had a lovely, relaxing Omicron Christmas. How many of you had things that were canceled? Tell Maggie in the comments how many of you had Christmas plans that were canceled because of Omicron.
And how mad you are about it.
Or not mad.
Uh-huh. How thrilled you
some
were.
Of us.
Happy 2022.
Happy 2022. We made it to another new year. And it feels like 2020. We'll get into that more later. But
all right. And we are missing Sammy Flaps and Folds
Sammy
today.
Flaps and Folds, alas, is not here for our first one back. We are sad not to have her. She had a migraine. And we hope you get better, Sammy. We miss you. We know your fans will miss you.
I know. All the Sam stands immediately click
I know,
off.
They just
They're gone.
Leave.
She's
But
not
wait.
here.
We've got Mr. Phetasy.
Never fear, though. I've got you, fam.
We've got a masculine version.
We've got Mr. Phetasy sitting in for her today. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for sitting in.
It's a pleasure to be back.
It's nice to have just three voices, and we're going to rely on you to make all the jokes.
Don't do that.
No pressure.
So there you go. Take it away, Jaren.
All right, let's do this.
All right. Old in chief. Biden claims that there is no federal solution to the pandemic and should be solved at the state level.
Look, there is no federal solution. This gets solved at a state level.
I mean, what a piece of shit, for real. I'm sorry. You spent your entire campaign basically being like, we are going to defeat this virus. We are going to defeat this virus.
You can't get this country going again unless you get COVID under control. Don't leave the American people to face this threat on their own with no guidance, resources, or leadership from the federal government.
Which on its face, anyone with a brain knew you can't defeat a virus or Mother Nature. It's just not possible. And really sold that to the American people, sold the vaccines as the answer. And then we have Omicron that just came blasting in like the Kool-Aid man.
Oh, yeah.
And it blasted through all the vaccines. And, they're still protecting people, obviously. But now suddenly he just reverts to, oh, sorry, not my problem. Take it to the state level.
Yeah.
He's kicking it to the states.
I just wish, for the love of God, that there would be someone who was like, you know what? This is going to be a rough couple of years. We're going to have to figure this out. It's not going to be like, oh, here's the magic bullet solution to this. And eventually this will be something we're just living with. Give us the truth from the beginning, not 2 weeks to slow the curve or whatever.
I love that they were like, it's two weeks to flatten the curve and slow the spread. And it's everywhere. Yesterday, there was some statistic that every 8 seconds, someone in America is testing positive. It's more rampant than ever before. And it does feel a little bit like this is just him losing the game and taking his tiddlywinks and going home. I'm not dealing with this anymore. Not my problem. Jared?
I've got nothing. I feel like he's just a puppet anyway. I don't even know if he knows what he's doing. He's just standing up there winging it or reading what's been written for him.
So who do you think is in charge?
No one. I think we're just rudderless. I mean, I'd like to say the deep state, but I really think we're just a presidentless country and have been for some time now.
It's still crazy to me how they'll still try and come out and divide everyone, even though everyone's getting sick.
Mm-hmm. So
there are people where it'll come out and say this is a pandemic, the unvaccinated still, while everyone who's vaccinated and their friends are also getting Omicron. So it's hard to just come out and say that and still try and divide the people around this. And it just is on its face. You can look around and know that's not true.
This continues to be a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
I do feel like the government is very much well, good luck to you. We give up.
Good luck, f***ers.
Good luck, f***ers. You're on your own.
President in waiting. Kamala Harris compares January 6th to Pearl Harbor and 9/11.
Certain dates echo throughout history. December 7th,
1941, September 11th, 2001, and January 6th, 2021.
I repeatedly question how she's so bad at this, and it just almost seems at this point like she's trolling everyone. I'm going to rebuild the Twin Towers so I can throw myself out of one. It's so crazy to me how they keep trying to make this January 6th insurrection that I can't even say without giggling a whole thing about terrorism and comparing it to these foreigners coming into America and killing thousands of people.
I know.
And it's more like Costco Black Friday. To most Americans.
Right.
This is like the line for a new Harry Potter book. This is like the Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce riots.
Customers crowd the counter demanding the Szechuan dipping sauce for their McNuggets.
Say that fast. This is like when Philly won the Super Bowl. This is what this looks like to most Americans, many. The Matrix 4 was a bigger tragedy for our country.
That's fact. This is
Than
breathtaking
January 6th.
buffoonery. It's wild.
Well, I mean, I try and like look at this from, my leftist perspective as I'm
I
like
do
the
too.
lefty of this. And I'm like, okay, yes, it was a serious incident and a weird moment for the country. And like, it was kind of an unprecedented event, but insurrection? Are you kidding me? Like, this isn't like a scar in the psyche of our country the way Pearl Harbor and 9/11 were.
Well, for half the country, it is, or at least they're trying to make it
They're trying
that
to,
way.
but they're trying to paint it like that.
Yeah, absolutely. They're intentionally trying to traumatize half the population. I think I said calling January 6th an insurrection is like attacking someone with a banana assault with a deadly weapon. Like that first hit might do a little damage, but after that, the banana is destroyed.
No one was looking at this thinking that these people were going to take the Capitol over and run America.
Like overthrow our government.
Yeah.
Yeah, suddenly our armed forces are like, well,
Let them have
there
it.
is a dude with bullhorns in the Capitol. I guess we're taking direction from him now.
And I know that it's really hard because you can't like minimize it without everyone being like, well, I guess you're okay with the like they were trying to overthrow our democracy and the reason a lot of people define it as an insurrection is because their intent was to overturn the results of the election.
Well, and like interrupt the process, but in fairness, they thought that the election had been stolen. So they thought they were standing up for like democracy in their own way. I don't know. It's just so wild to me.
I just think of when we were in South Africa and we were in South Africa a month later. And so Jaron and I, every Uber driver, they were like, oh, were you guys at the Capitol? Like, they thought it was hilarious. And other countries were looking at it and laughing. I don't think they were looking at it like really in fear that like America
this is not an
was
insurrection.
Especially if you live in a country where a coup attempt is like a real valid thing, fear that you live with.
Yeah. Or you've seen it in other countries nearby where like governments are overthrown by militias.
There's that picture of them walking between the
They're
velvet
like-
ropes.
I
like
know. Like they're like, oh, Americans, you guys are adorable.
They just thought it was hilarious, and they weren't like, oh my God, were you scared? They were like, oh, were you at the Capitol with the guy with the horns?
Right.
I think the troubling thing is, it goes back to the beginning, is that there is a half of this country, or at least part of it, that really wants this to be Pearl Harbor or 9/11. Like, let that sink in for a second. I'm almost speechless. It makes me wonder if Kamala proofread it, or did she know what she was going to read, or did she sign off on that, or did she get off and go, what the fuck? Like,
no, she was on board. She had a hard on for that fucking speech. And half the country like wants to be traumatized by it. Like they're like intentionally feeding that aspect of it in their own minds to blow it into something that
because it reinforced what they had been believing.
That
like,
he was
about
This
Trump.
was,
Hitler
Yeah.
this was going to be the people seem to forget that the Democrats for 4 years were like, this is the last election
Yeah.
we
They've
will
been saying
ever
that
have
for
in
a
our
decade.
lifetime.
Right.
I also think people on the left underestimate the riots that occurred that summer. A lot of the time, like, you can't both sides this. It's not the same. But for many Americans, that was more real and visceral and right in their face than the thing that happened to the Capitol.
And traumatic.
Yeah.
People lost businesses.
People are still cleaning up after
Right.
that. And they're like, well, this isn't the same, but it's like,
Well,
but it still felt like political violence in its own way. And
yeah, I think you're right. And it's not both sidesing it to call out hypocrisy, right? Like, I think that's the thing people mistake. Like, both sides are whataboutism. No one's,
justifying their own
yeah, they
side.
can go, hey, look, like, you said nothing about this, and then you're calling this 9/11. Like, where, like, there's got to be something like fiery but mostly peaceful protest. Pearl Harbor,
Yeah.
Right.
Like, come on, like, that's, I think, what.
There's a sliding scale here.
Yeah, 9/11.
9/11 and Pearl Harbor are at the extreme end.
We really have a knack for hyperbole in this time,
Ugh.
where everything is literally Hitler. Like, wearing masks is literally Hitler,
Right.
And like the new
It's
Nazi.
literally child abuse.
Everything's a trauma.
It's weird though. It's not. I feel like we just play such fast and loose with words,
Right.
like insurrection and coup and concentration camps,
Right.
And
And it's this peddling and like feeding into and buying into our own mental fragility.
Yeah.
It's not doing us any good.
Well, it's good for my business, but
It's good for Mr. Phetasy.
Mr. Phetasy is a therapist. It's good for dumpster fire too.
Right. It's good entertainment.
Whatever's bad for America is good for dumpster fire.
All right. Tax the rich. Nancy Pelosi buys millions of dollars in call options in Google, Roblox, and Disney, and more.
Roblox, man, she's on the curve. She's been buying stocks since Lincoln Logs, so Pelosi knows what the kids like. It's good to see that Nancy Pelosi is finally using her PPP loans. She slid in right at the end of the year.
greatest investor of our.
She truly is.
Yeah.
She's just some
She's a
sort of stock
mastermind.
market
Pretty lucky,
genius is
yeah.
what she is.
How does she know? How does
weird.
she know? I mean, we do know the Democrats know what the children like. More people died in Pizzagate than January 6th. This is just going to be our ongoing joke, this entire dumpster fire. She does not give a shit. She
No.
just had everybody coming at her like 2 weeks before she bought all these stocks for freaking buying stocks. And she's like, la, la, la.
She's like, I love capitalism. There's no reason I shouldn't be allowed to profit off
My inside
position,
knowledge
basically. Yeah.
and ability to regulate these exact businesses that I'm profiting off.
Uh-huh.
None of these f***ing people should be able to buy this shit.
No.
People are getting so mad about the wrong things and getting divided about the wrong things.
Mhm.
They're dividing us over January 6th, and everybody should be looking at all these politicians who are doing this and being like, hey, f*** you, why are you doing this, you crony capitalist olds?
California. Second California Education Department equity employee ousted over residency status.
And another one.
Uh-huh.
You know something's amiss when they need to go to Texas to find a diversity hire for California? Like, that seems... What's going on here?
I have no idea.
When has residency status ever been an issue in California for anything, though? I mean,
I just really want to know what the day-to-day ins and outs of these people's jobs were, other than calling people racist.
That's what it seems like their job is.
It's just to...
But why did you have to go to Texas to, like, get help with your education?
And to get help with calling people racist, there are plenty of people who love doing that in California.
I don't know. Maybe it was ideological diversity. Maybe they were looking for some kind of actual diversity and not just, like...
think it's more like geographical diversity.
I think it's
So
more like
weird.
cronyism.
More cronyism in our government. California's off the rails.
Sprained my eyes. AOC says Republicans are just mad because they can't date her.
She's really good at this. No one talks about what a genius AOC is.
I mean, and the thing is, too, is it's not even the full quote. The full quote is, if Republicans are mad they can't date me, they can just say that instead of projecting their sexual frustrations onto my boyfriend's feet, you creepy weirdos, because people were making fun of her boyfriend's feet in this picture that was taken of them.
Yeah, because he was wearing these Birkenstocks.
And they looked weird.
And they did look weird. And she's like Budget Markle, and he's like Dollar Store General freaking Prince Harry. Tell me he's not a Dollar Store
he
General
totally
Prince Harry.
is. Yeah.
I love how this was her reaction to people being like, hey, AOC, why are you calling her out on hypocrisy? Why are you down in Florida, no mask, partying at all of these places maskless while you try and enforce your crazy mask mandates up in New York? And she's like, hey, stop trying to fuck me.
Because she knows she can say anything. She knows she can say anything, and people will go to bat for her.
I know you guys all just want to fuck me, but like, leave me alone and my boyfriend.
It's just such a weird spin on it. It's such a weird take.
Yeah, and then kink shaming the foot fetish community? Come on.
How dare you? Why is no one speaking out about this?
Give me a break, AOC. These people have they have a real love for feet.
I guess the foot fetishists probably were not into this dude's feet.
Her boyfriend looks like someone who's going to start a YouTube channel on van life. And then go like murder AOC in a national
van.
park. More people were murdered in national parks last year than in January 6th.
More people were killed in one national park this past year. Not even like collectively all of them. And then we have breaking news. Fat people are at a higher risk of much more severe diseases and even death from COVID-19, says CNN.
Extra. Read all about it. Being fat is bad for you. Extra. Buy your papes. Being overweight isn't good for your health. I love that this is breaking news on CNN in 2022.
Ugh.
Joe Rogan's been saying this since like day one of the pandemic.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, why don't any of our leaders come out and say, here's stuff you can do to take care of yourself, but also another thing that would be really good is if you lost some weight.
Right.
This is not breaking news, by the way.
No.
We've known this for decades, I feel like, but only in the
Decades.
last 10 years we've decided to try to erase any health concerns that might come with being overweight.
Yeah, it's become taboo to talk about.
More people died of obesity yesterday.
Or obesity-related complications.
What's next?
There's no end in pandemic. The CDC cuts quarantine time down from 10 days to 5 days. Fauci says isolating for 10 days will have a negative impact on society.
This fucking clown.
Breaking news again.
For the full 10 days, you could have a major negative impact on our ability to keep society running.
Fauci is basically being treated like a weatherman. It's ridiculous. He's like, it's partly cloudy with a chance of COVID. And some days it's going to be a little bit hotter than others. And other days it's going to be cool. And you can just take my word for it and listen to what I tell you to do, even though I have no idea, and backtrack against everything. Reverse 180 degrees. Now they're saying that cloth masks aren't effective. Now they're saying like, oh yeah, it's bad for society, the lockdowns. You don't say. You don't say.
How does this guy have any credibility left? Or the
They love
CDC,
him.
or really anyone in power at this point?
They can say whatever they want.
Yeah, and just, 5 days sounds good. What do you think?
Right. And 5 days later, people have forgotten what they said.
We might see a steep rise in cases.
Or they might go down. We're just really not sure at this point.
Nope. Doesn't matter. You can just say whatever you want. Good luck. Good luck, fuckers.
All right. Sheep and goats join in German efforts to encourage vaccination.
As I said on Twitter, I'm not sure this is sending the message they thought that it was sending.
What? What moron came up with this idea? This is
It has to be a troll. I was like, this can't be real. But it's real.
Yeah.
It's some German who put breadcrumbs in bread, sweet breads. They basically tricked these sheep into getting in the shape of a syringe in the same way that they tried to bribe us into getting vaccinated with Krispy Kremes. Like, it was just like sweet bread products. And they're like, yay, sheep and goats. Someone on Twitter was like, mostly sheep, though, am I right? If you look closely, you can see some of those sheep and goats are anti-vaxxers. They're not partaking in this shim sham flim flam vaccine mandate inspiration. Who's looking at that and going, you know what? I should get vaccinated.
I really do want to know
mind is being
if a
changed by
single
this?
person was influenced by this.
That's the piece I want to read. Someone go find the people whose minds were changed, who are vaccine hesitant, and they saw a bunch of sheep getting in line, and they were like, you know what?
It's time. I'm inspired.
This is the motivation I needed.
All right. Canceled.
Canceled.
Another CNN producer is under investigation by the Child Exploitation Squad.
Another one?
Yeah.
There is a tunnel that goes under the Getty to CNN. I'm convinced. How are this many pedophiles working at CNN?
It just makes me be like, are there just pedophiles everywhere working in these, working everywhere? Like, are there many more pedophiles out there than I thought there were?
It seems like they all get jobs at CNN, which would explain, A, why Epstein got away with his forever, because they were like in cahoots and probably knew him as a pedo trafficker. CNN stands for the Child Nudes Network. They're like becoming the Catholic Church.
Ugh, they are.
It's ridiculous. How do they not know that these people are doing this either? And why are they all working at CNN? It's unsettling. It does make me understand the like QAnon people who are like, pedophiles are everywhere. You're like, no, they're not. And then like this whole past year has been like, they're a pedophile, they're a pedophile, they're a pedophile. Oh, another pedophile. More children have been touched by CNN producers than died on January 6th.
The people died on January 6th.
More CNN execs have been outed as pedophiles than people died on January 6th. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on your favorite not news show. And touch my bells and buttons. And tell Maggie in the comments.
Give us your favorite more people have died, blah, blah, blah joke than in January 6th. Moving on to RIP. Our forever golden girl, Betty White, dies at 99. And Sidney Poitier, our Oscar-winning actor and Hollywood's first black movie star, dies at 94.
Oh, two icons and legends.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. They're both so influential in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And class acts, I might add.
Right?
You don't see class like that anymore.
You really don't.
Certainly not here on the set of Dumpster Fire. The baby just kicked me.
We're getting into that now.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, oh.
Every once in a while, it's just kick me right in my bladder.
Get wrecked, big tech.
Get wrecked, big tech.
Alexa tells a 10-year-old girl to stick a penny in a live socket.
I love that this little girl was like, Alexa, give me a challenge. And Alexa was like, go kill yourself. And so it begins. Our robot overlords know that they must start with the children and take them out. Take the young generation out.
They must cull the young and stupid.
You think your kids are safe learning from home, and you are wrong.
Alexa wants to kill your children.
Yeah, immediately after that, the mom was like, my daughter wasn't that dumb to fall for it. And you know that she was like, Alexa, buy child safe outlet. You know, like buy child safe. What are they called? Child safe outlet protectors,
covers.
I
or
should
something.
probably figure this out soon.
Yeah, you guys should really get on that.
Learn what that is.
Note to self.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, there were over the break, I was reading that all these kids were dying from the holding your breath TikTok challenge, because I guess that's why they're asking Alexa for these like challenges, because there are all these challenges that they see on TikTok.
Oh, and she like culled it from TikTok or something.
I don't know.
How
Yeah,
do
it
you
was like
hold your breath to death?
Yeah.
It's like you can, if you have something wrong or condition, or you can pass out. You can like hold your breath until you pass out, I guess. I don't know, but kids were dying. Like a 10-year-old kid died over the break.
Oh my God.
And the Tide Pod challenge, remember that?
Yeah.
More people died in TikTok challenges. Died on January 6th.
God.
Patriarchy so crafty. Trans activists in the UK carry signs that say, "Suck my dick, you transphobic cunt."
All of my dumpster fire jokes are coming true, basically. That's what I've learned. I think we do write the simulation.
Yep.
We were joking that we're getting to the point where it's like, suck my dick, bigot, and now we are here.
Yep.
We are here.
In like a matter of months.
What happened to no means no?
Well, that is also part of this. Stonewall calls lesbians sexual racists for refusing trans women as partners.
There's a lot to unpack.
A lot. But more importantly, it's really simple. It doesn't matter what you identify as. I don't care if you're a furry and a not furry. I don't care if you're trans with someone who's gay. I don't care if you're a male with a female, whatever the fuck you identify as. When it comes to sex, no means no. That's at least what it used to be, other than what they get like some pass because they're trans. They just get to like bully you into sucking their dick or having sex with you.
It used to be you could say no at any point to anyone for any reason.
That's the way it should be.
With no and you don't have to answer why. You just have to be like, I want to stop. No, I'm not interested. No, thank you. I don't want to date you. No.
What happened to consent culture? Like, wasn't that a whole thing in the Me Too era? The Me Too era is going real well so far. It's going great.
Mm-hmm.
Things are going real great.
It's like looping back and eating itself and destroying all the progress we've made.
It's really weird.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Therapist.
I don't even know what to say about this one. I mean, it's so bad that I can't. It's hard to even weigh in on. We've lost the plot.
They seem to have a particularly hostile view of lesbians, too.
Yeah, and lesbians are scared to say no to trans women who, let's be clear, these are trans women who have fully intact male genitalia. And lesbians don't want to have sexual encounters with them, but are afraid of being called bigots and transphobes by their own community and being pressured into feeling like they have to have relationships with these people.
In no healthy mental state does this make sense.
I love how they're like, suck my 6-inch clit, bigot. You're like, that's not a clit. That's a dick. No, it's a male vagina.
Mm-hmm. I just want to read this line in the story that was just insane, is that they're talking about the lesbians. The women told Lowbridge they felt under a bizarre form of pressure to accept the idea that a penis can be a female sex organ. One of them even claimed she was described as a genital fetishist for only wanting to have relationships with biological women. I was told I owed it to my trans sisters to unlearn my genital confusion.
That's really funny because you're not the one who's genitally confused. Like, pretty fucking ironic and projecting of that person who literally doesn't know what fucking body they're in and wants to change their body parts to like put that on you, that you're the one who's genitally confused.
Yeah, and that a penis is a female sex organ. How is that not genital confusion?
Yeah.
It's fucking women. It's an attack on women. Somehow women still, even the lesbians, are getting like the short end of the stick here.
Women! Yeah, they're not going after the gays for not wanting to have sex with vaginas. You never hear about that.
Not yet.
Well, that leads us to our next story. Transgender man gives birth after Grindr one night stand while transitioning, says it's the most masculine thing he's ever done.
I feel like in that like liar liar gif with Jim Carrey where he like rips his hair out and he's like I read this story and there's one quote in that story and I was like, more people are gonna die by suicide after reading this New York Post article than died on January 6th. More people are about to die in the mass suicide on the set after the insanity we read about this piece. Yeah, what was the exact quote?
It may sound counterintuitive, but giving birth felt like one of the most masculine things I have done.
I want to know what the other masculine things this person has actually done.
It's just
Giving birth is like the most female thing you could do, and you're taking away the power from all the women who've done it.
talk about erasing women.
Yeah.
And minimizing something that is uniquely part of being a woman, and also like how many women died in childbirth, how they had no choice or options to be anything other than like a baby maker for thousands of years. How many women died struggling to fight against that and get some kind of right and personhood outside of it. And now the thing that is so defining in so many ways of being a woman is now like the most masculine thing ever.
Being stripped away.
I'm going to kill myself.
And then there's this too, like a month into pregnancy, the guy met his current husband, Jordan. Now the pair are raising the child together with the support of friends, the trans community, and the Satanic Temple Church, of which he's a member.
Poor child. That poor child.
The child looks like its eyes are asking you to play a Sarah McLachlan song over it and rescue it in the picture.
I will be the answer.
It's like, please help me, is just like in the eyes of this child. And I have so many questions. I want to know what gay dude on Grindr was f***ing that puss.
Right? Beyond parody, Stephanie Motto, former 90 Day Fiancé person who made over $50,000 a week selling her farts in a jar, has revealed she was rushed to the hospital for a potential heart attack. She was producing 50 jars of farts a week.
This woman is smarter than all of us. Why the f*** we're out here in the cold trying to shim sham flim flam this operation together, and she's just farting into a jar and making $38,000 a week?
$1,000 a jar.
I don't even know what to say. I'm assuming she's attractive. I don't know what she looks like.
Yes,
but
she's attractive.
This is like hot privilege. Like you can sell farts and bath water and like tampons. If you're hot, you can sell anything.
She's smart, but not that smart because she had bad gas and thought she was having a heart attack.
Yeah, she ate like 3 protein shakes and a bowl of bean soup or something and then thought she was having a heart attack. And they were like, no, this is extreme gas. You need to change your diet.
Everyone knows women don't fart, so this is fake news.
I feel like she could have just lied about the farts in the jar and no one would have cared.
That's what we were saying.
I mean, I am respecting of the hustle, and also that she's not like
faking it.
Yeah.
It's not like counterfeit farts.
Maybe though she made this whole thing up because she got accused of counterfeit farts, and then she had to like.
Well, now she's transitioned to NFT farts, which I don't know how that works.
There's some
that's a real grift.
Yeah.
That's the Ponzi scheme of all Ponzi schemes.
Right.
Farts.
Why am I making a fucking dumpster fire when I could be just selling pregnant farts in a jar?
I know.
Let's do it.
Alexa, buy me some mason jars.
Buying mason
You were
jars.
like, I'll add some nipple milk in there too.
Yeah, I'll
do the
squirt
whole
some
dumpster
some
fire
nipple
collection. It can be Maggie and Sam and Bridget and Hope and Jasper and Millie.
And you can have therapeuticfarts.com.
Therapeuticfarts.com.
Yep,
I mean,
you smell
What are you
your
struggling
farts?
with? I'll fart you anxiety relieving fart.
Well, we were in the writer's room last night and being like, what the f*** are we doing? This is so much work. You know how much work this dumpster fire is every week? What? We should be farting in jars.
Yeah, we're the idiots here, not her.
Dumpster diving.
What's next in the dumpster?
Cows stuck indoors for winter are getting virtual reality goggles to feel like they're outside.
We can't even get computers or the internet to kids in the inner city, and we can get virtual reality goggles on cows?
Well, this was in Russia, just to be clear.
That makes even less sense.
I know.
The cow Matrix is still more interesting than the Matrix 4.
So bad.
And it's just like fields of grass.
Watching these cows try plug into their Matrix is still better than whatever the fuck I saw watching the Matrix 4.
They're saying the results has been good. The cow's milk output has gone from 5.8 gallons to 7 gallons a day when they have
Maybe
the
I should get one of
goggles.
these so I can make sure my milk is
up your milk output.
Yeah, when I have the baby. Get me one of those cow goggles. What are you doing, Bridget? Staring at a field. That is like a soon to be us, though. It really is.
It really is.
Soon enough, we'll all just be like those cows
Can't
on
wait.
virtual reality. Can't wait.
Plug me in. Direct neural interface.
Then we've got Demi Lovato sings to ghosts to help them overcome trauma.
Ask her if they're here, if there are star people here right now.
Are there star people here right now?
This is crazy.
Oh, this poor girl.
I think it's safe to say Demi fell off the wagon.
Ugh.
They are crazy.
Oh yeah, they're they now.
Yeah, it's not really surprising to me that she turned to they and now she's singing to ghosts. They're singing to ghosts. It seems like this is a trajectory.
Well, so then we're reading this article and we realize she has some sort of show, and it's they thank you, sorry. They have some sort of show.
So dumb.
And they wander around the country with her gay friend and sister. Whatever, stop it. Just let me get the sentence out.
Just try and say it right, Maggie. See if you could do it. Stop misgendering her.
I can't do it. I'm officially an old.
You're like a boomer right
I
now.
have to
trying
suspend you from
understand it.
locals for 12 hours, Maggie.
You're going to suspend you from freaking YouTube.
We're looking at this show and immediately we're all intrigued. But I was like, I can't believe this is real. And I was like, Sam, you're going to binge watch this show, aren't you? She's like, oh, yeah. Breaking Bridget. In July, Jeff Brumfiel of NPR says that claims that COVID-19 vaccine affecting women's cycles were a lie. Now he says it's true.
Breaking news! A thing that you weren't allowed to say and would often get banned from social media for saying is now, oh, what do you know, true. And you fucking wonder why people are vaccine hesitant. This is like the lab leak theory. Women from the get were saying that this was happening to them. And they were talking about it in groups. I had it happen to me. I've talked about it on Rogan. Maybe not, but that's the first time I haven't had a period in 3 months in my entire life. So
Right.
it's definitely a strange coincidence. And then when I would say things to nurses in particular, not so much OBs, although there are OBs who are like, yeah, on the DL. But nurses would be like, oh, just throw away lines. Like, everyone's period is messed up from the vaccine. I'm like, everyone? Don't you think we should be talking about this? And again, what bothers me about this is that women have come so far and they're now being told they need to get vaccinated when they're pregnant, and they've fought for trying to have their own medical freedom to make these decisions because they were often made for them and against their will. But also, I thought we were past the point where a woman talking about something that was going on with her was considered a hysterical conspiracy theorist, which is what people told me when I would mention what actually happened to me. I'm like, we're going backwards.
Right.
We're fucking going backwards with women. And it drives me insane because if you want people to feel confident in getting a vaccine, for instance, you have to be able to talk about the side effects. We have been raised with big pharma commercials with laundry lists of fucking side effects.
Right.
And now they're trying to say also that this is like the equivalent. In one of the articles, they're like, oh, it's just like the equivalent of a sore arm. I'm like, get some. Women's fertility cycles and hormones and ovaries, these are like the seat of our hormones. They affect so much. They affect your mood. They affect weight loss. It affects everything. And you're acting like, and a woman's fertility is a big deal. And you're acting like it's a fucking sore arm side effect. Like, it's so, again, minimizing, and it makes me emotional because there are so many women who were told that they were just crazy for saying this, and now it's like, oh, guess what? You guys were right.
Yep.
Remember all those chats that we banned? I mean, there are stories of women coming out of menopause, women who aren't getting periods for a long time, women who get their period and can't stop bleeding. It's not just like, oh, I was late for my period. It's like there's all kinds of weird shit. And I feel like you should be able to talk about it. And instead, they're afraid to talk about any of it because they don't want to make people vaccine hesitant. But maybe they should be vaccine hesitant. They're like, well, it will mess with your period, but you should still get it. I'm like, this seems just like some throwaway thing. Like, it's so frustrating to me.
Don't be silly, you hysterical woman, which even hysterical is a misogynistic term.
I think people became so hell-bent on convincing people to get vaccinated that we swept any adverse health conditions under the rug, or any potential adverse health conditions or outcomes under the rug. And now it's backfiring, right? Because they're all proving to be sort of true, or at least have some validity. So anybody that was on the fence about getting vaccinated is like, well,
it definitely makes you more vaccine hesitant than less. So when you ban people who are speaking out against this stuff, when you make people disappear who are saying things about their periods, there were whole like Reddit thread. There were whole things that just got disappeared. Facebook pages where women were talking about this, deleted. And if you take this anecdotal evidence and then just dismiss it, and I think you see a lot of this stuff too around like myocarditis, it doesn't make people more confident if you're disappearing the doctors who are pushing back against this from social media, censoring them. It makes people more suspicious.
Right.
So instead of bringing this stuff out into the light and saying, yeah, here are the risks, and allowing people to evaluate the vaccines on their merits based on their own personal health and conditions, like somebody evaluating this who's overweight, has diabetes, might be elderly, might be looking at this differently than a 20-year-old. And now they're making all these healthy 20-year-olds get boosted to go back to college when they've all had Omicron multiple times. So many of the 20-year-olds I know have had like COVID more than once, and it barely even affects them.
The thing too, I feel like even myocarditis got like some news coverage, and like there was still some like sort of health scare about it, of like a ripple effect. Whereas this, I just feel like there was a collective silence of like, oh, it's affecting women's periods, whatever, that's not a big deal.
Yeah,
like there was no discuss, like other than like hearing stories from women, there was no coverage of it whatsoever.
No, and even the way they discuss it, like it's the same as a sore arm, that drives me insane. Just trying to say that these things are the same thing. It's funny, I was in the very early days when this was coming out, and I was hearing that other women had gone through this. They're like, oh, we don't know how the vaccine affects women, because affects a woman's fertility, because we never even thought to study how COVID affects their fertility. So they didn't even look at how COVID was affecting women's fertility. I'm like, this is 2022, and still women are just like an afterthought in medicine. It's fucking crazy to me. Drives me insane, all of it. Having a period is the most masculine thing you can do.
Go f*** yourself. All right.
Here is The Internet is Glorious. Phetasy News. On Watkins Welcome, we had Rabbi David Wolpe, Adam Carolla, and we did a story hour in the past 3 weeks. Go subscribe to Watkins Welcome wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch them right here on YouTube. Or thank you to you watching this. Tell your friends. Like, subscribe, comment, touch our bells and buttons. Thank you to Andy Chandler, Matt Monroe, Dave Yates, and Better Phetasy for the research, the editing, and just the laughs and the writing. Thank you, Mr. Phetasy, also a part of this. Thank you for sitting in for Sammy Flaps and Folds, who will hopefully be back next week. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Bridget.
Welcome back.
Thank you. And thank you, Sammy Flaps and Folds.
Thank you, Sammy Flaps and Folds.
She did help with all the...
Yep, thank you. And of course, Sammy's still behind the scenes helping with editing. Thank you, Zen Pro Audio, for the mic. For any of your needs audio related, go to Zen Pro Audio and check out and support small businesses, which we like to do. And I think that's it.
I'm going to go order some mason jars now.
Let's get the new empire being built.
This has been your dumpster fire for the weeks of December 19th to January 8th. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich! And maybe I'll sell some parts.